Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Yes, I know it's been a long time since my last video, but I am back with a new one. Now, if you are new here, my name is Tammy, and I'm a mental health blogger and now currently a candle maker. My channel is all about my everyday management of living with major depression and social anxiety while starting this new candle making journey. Now, if you like what you've heard so far, then hit that subscribe button so that you can be reminded of when the next new video comes out. Now that that's all out of the way, let's get into it. So I didn't go back to the old videos. I'm not quite sure where I left off at with the last one. I know I did a Canada trip in that one, so if you would like to see me conquer Niagara Falls and my fear of heights and reverse fear of heights, then you can go check out that video as well. I think it's 4 separate videos to that trip. But anyway, where have I been? Well, I have been in a depressive episode. So, as you know, with depression, it's not just about sadness, it's about not wanting to do things, it's about being alone, well, feeling lonely, it's about a ton of things. I'm not going to go deep into depression. At this stage, we all know what the basic definition of depression is. So I have been in somewhat of a depressive state. Um, just to do a quick recap, last year, 2022, actually 2021 is when I left my job of 7 years. I had a mental health breakdown and I just couldn't do my job anymore. And seeing as they wouldn't accommodate me, I needed to get myself right in order to be able to function and be out in the world and do things. So I ended up leaving that job. And it was the best decision for me. It really was. It worked out for me mentally because it was 7 years of being pulled back and forth between 2 to 3 companies within the same office, having to understand what this company's information was about and this company's. It wasn't ideal. And I don't recommend it for anyone. If you're going to have 2 separate jobs, then have them at 2 separate locations on different days because it started to get to me. So I had a mental breakdown right as we were coming out of starting our stages of coming out of the pandemic. So I went to my doctor, as always, and explained the situation. And he told me, now in my mind, I wanted to just take a break for a couple of months and then get back into finding a new job. He recommended taking a whole year off. And at first, I was a little hesitant about it, but as the year of 2022 went along, I was all for it. I got to focus on me a little more. I got to focus on the Silent Torch and writing blogs a little more. I got to focus on things that interest me. And I got to do some things outside of the norm for me, like going to Canada. I think, yeah, we went to Canada last year. So going to Canada, just doing things I wouldn't normally do. So now that it's 2023, I am ready to get back to the workforce. I need the income. It is not cheap living in New York. It never will be cheap living in New York. Everything here is extremely high, extremely expensive, and everyone here don't believe what you see in most vlogs. A lot of New Yorkers, actual New Yorkers, are struggling to survive in this city. But we're New Yorkers, we're tough, we make it we make it happen, we make it through. So 2023 hits, and right off the bat, my stepmom slash friend, because she was such a good friend to me, ended up passing away. And it was the first thing we had to deal with as a family, um, in the beginning of the year. So she passed away, and I've known her since I was a teenager. Um, and she's always been there. She's been like a second mom to me. Of course, no one can ever replace my mom because she was the greatest. But she was a second mom to me, and she passed away. So sorry about that. I had to take a moment for myself, but she was the second mom to me. She was the second mom. She was like one of my best friends. I could talk to her about any and everything and knew that she would never tell anyone about it, and she could do the same with me. And she suddenly passed away. So we had to deal with that in the beginning of the year and figuring out what's the next steps for my father because he's getting older and his health is not 100%. So I have taken on going with him to his appointments and trying to make sure that he has what he needs in that apartment while we're trying to figure out where to move him to next. But besides that, I haven't really been motivated to do anything. The Silent Torch has been on hiatus since last November, I believe. Since last November, and I haven't been motivated to really do anything. So I've been struggling to get out of bed on a daily basis now, and it's kind of like all the progress that I made last year is starting to unravel and revert backwards. So it has been a struggle to get some type of motivation here. But aside from that, I'm also looking for a job, which I started my job search back in December of 2022, and it has been very difficult. It has been so difficult to find a job, even though there are reports that there are thousands of jobs out there. Well, thousands of jobs, and I can't seem to catch a single one for an interview, just for an interview. So, my job process so far has been me applying on LinkedIn and Indeed and at company websites and whatever I can find for a new role because I don't want to take on the old role that I used to have, which was administrative assistant. I want something more challenging, something I can like really be a part of. And I know I have a small amount of accounts receivable experience thanks to my previous job. So I started applying for accounts receivable, but the problem I'm having and running into, and I think as I look at LinkedIn, I'm noticing a lot of people are having is that entry level no longer means entry level. Entry level in the past, from when I was looking at jobs before I got my previous job, entry level meant you had the bare minimum experience. Jobs are willing to take you on and they're willing to do some form of training. So you learn as you go on the job. Nowadays, entry level is 3 to 10 years. Yes, I've seen a job or two listed for 10 years, 3 to 10 years of experience, and then you have to have all this list of things that to qualify for that position. So it is completely different than what I knew before in the past. And also, you have to have keywords in your resume now. So for me, keywords, I associate that with blogging because you put your keywords into your blog post or your blog article, and that is pretty much how Google, it's a part of the SEO, so that's pretty much how Google starts to rank your page, your website. Now you have to have keywords in your resume. So it has been a struggle. I have revamped my resume what seems like 20 different times to try and fit these job descriptions and try and put in the right keyword that their system will pick up to call me for an interview. I've had multiple calls with recruiters that went nowhere. I've never had any success, zero success on finding any of the jobs I had previously by using a recruiter. It has always been either someone I know or I've done it myself and put myself out there. So it's been a ton of recruiters calling and getting me nowhere. And I'm having like the worst luck trying to find a job now. But I've been having the worst luck in just getting an interview from a lot of these companies, and a lot of my skills transfer over to different positions. So I'm going to look into maybe going to an employment center to help me with my search. I'm going to continue to search online at job boards and company websites, um, and see what I can find out there. But it's very difficult, and the only thing that's keeping me from not being depressed even more is knowing that there's other people out there that are struggling too, which is a bad thing all around, because if there's these jobs out there, and people are looking for them, I feel like companies should be more invested in filling those roles and those positions. But that has been the gist of the job search. Job searching, as we all know, it's like the worst. It To be rejected over and over again, it feels like you're not good enough. And that's kind of the mindset I've been in every time I go to apply for a job, that I'm not good enough, which I know I am because my resume says so. But now in this current era of job searching, if you don't have the proper keywords, that system, whatever system these companies are using, is not going to pick up on it. So, still trying to figure out the algorithm of getting an interview from some of these companies. I've started looking at jobs outside of the city, outside of the state, to see if I can apply to those. I'm willing to relocate to another state. I kind of want to stay in the tri state area because I still love the feel of New York. I just don't want to live here. And if it means working someplace else and living someplace else, then so be it. But that's been my job adventure so far. I actually applied to a job today, and I just don't have any high hopes that I would get a call back or that my resume would be reviewed, but you never know. So you never know. Have to see. But there's been some things such as that has been keeping me unmotivated and keeping me down. But what I like about myself now compared to about 20, 30 years ago, yeah, I'm old, 20, 30 years ago, is that I don't stay in the depression like I used to. I don't feed that cloud anymore. So I've been trying to find ways to just do small things that satisfy me, motivate myself to do a little something, something that will get me up out of the bed. Because honestly, I stay in this bed from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. And I have a little bed table that I set up. I still do work on my computer, but it's on that bed table. I'm in the bed, and it started to get frustrating. So I've started to like try and find new things to do, try and go out more. My friend, thank God for her because she's always around the city, always doing things. She suggested um, going to free events in New York. And yes, believe it or not, there are a ton of free events in New York City. But she called me one day and asked about going to a free event in Brooklyn. And it was all because of our other friend, because she's going through a tough time as well. So she decided to call me to figure out if maybe we can get her out of the house. And I'm like, great, because this will get me out of the house. And we went on our first event, which was a tour across to walk the Brooklyn Bridge. I've lived here all my life. I've never been across the Brooklyn Bridge before. And we went on a Friday evening. And we really didn't join the tour because, for one, it was kind of unorganized. Two, we didn't know who to look for. Three, there was no location spot that everybody meet up at. It was just, hey, meet at Borough Park and we'll head over the bridge. So we, the four of us, my sister was there as well. We ended up just walking the bridge ourselves, and it was really, really enjoyable, relaxing. The Brooklyn Bridge is one of my favorite bridges in the city. And we walked the bridge and we ended up taking some pictures. And when we got to the other side, when we got to Brooklyn side, because we started in Manhattan, when we got to Brooklyn side, we went to the park that's down there. And I had never been to that park. I'm not big on going into Brooklyn, so I don't really know much about it, but I've noticed I've started to go there a little bit more because of these free events that we find on Eventbrite to attend. So we had a really good time. It was nice to get out of the house, to not think about things that frustrate us or stress us out. Um, I loved being by the water and just sitting there and watching the boats go by. It was just, and watching the sun go down. It was just really a nice time. It sparked us to want to do more. So we ended up going to Brooklyn Market, I think it is. It is this huge food festival that you go to. You get your free ticket, which honestly you don't really need a ticket. You could just walk right in because there's no security checking. But to be on the safe side, get the free ticket on Eventbrite. So the three of us went, my sister, me, and our friend, we went. And it was nice. It was packed. It's a lot of people. My sister's anxiety went out of control. Mine was kind of stable. But we went, we had some food, we sat down inside. They had little indoor courtyards to sit and eat and talk. We sat and we enjoyed ourselves. So that was a nice experience. I also went to my first ever pop-up shop, which was also in Brooklyn, and I have never been to one of those before, so it was nice to see the different vendors and what they sold and to walk around. I purchased a candle from one of the vendors. I also purchased a room spray that smells really nice. I'm afraid to use it all because I don't have the money right now to like buy another one. So so I'm like spreading it out um until I get a job and can buy me like two others, because she has some wonderful scents in her sprays. And we just walked around and we had a good time. Afterwards we went to a seafood place called, it was Red Hook Lobster, and sat down, had a nice little lunch. The food was great. Can't wait to go back again. It's on the expensive side, but that's okay. We just splurged and we took some food home. It was great. I did some outside events. Went on my first sailboat ever. Didn't know that New York City had sailboat tours. So we went on our first sailboat. We had cheese and wine. We had fruit. It was just relaxing to be on the water. Yes, it was hot that day, but we had our little portable fans and we went on the water and enjoyed ourselves. We watched them put the sails up. It was just really, really good to be out of the house, out of my bed, and out there enjoying things that the city has to offer. Kind of like before the pandemic hit, because even though we weren't doing the sailboat and the pop-ups, we still were going to different restaurants, we were going to shows, we were doing things that, you know, would occupy our minds and put us in a better mood. So we did the sailboat, we did the Circle Line. I've been on the Circle Line a million times and it never gets old. I think I just love being on the water and going around the city. But we did the Circle Line, and yeah, we have a couple of other things lined up to do as well. So I'm trying to do things more frequently and get out more. So it's a nice change from just laying in bed all day. And then aside from that, I've started to think more about my book. I've been trying to advance it a little more. So I wanted it to be really short, and it looks like I'm going to be writing another long book and see if I could get it published. I need to get at least one of these books published. I'm going the self-published route, so I'm taking my time and I'm making sure I develop the story even further than what it is. And then on top of that, I've started making candles. Um, Never thought in a million years I would be able to make a candle, but I started making candles. And it has been the most fun, relaxing, therapeutic thing ever. And it's actually gotten me into burning candles while I'm working, and or I'm sitting here and listening to music and relaxing. So it's been really fun learning the process and understanding what it takes to make a good working candle. So where am I at with my struggles now? I'm starting to have my survival mode kick in because I have bills I need to pay. I don't have any source of income. Because I left my job, I don't think I can apply for unemployment, and there's really very limited, I think, very limited services out there that help somebody in my situation. So I'm pushing harder to find the job that I can do, even if it's part time. I've been looking, I started back looking. I took a week off because I just needed a break. It was getting to the mental well being, it was not there. So it was building up on me, um, knowing that I'm a good fit for the position, but it just doesn't correlate with them and what they're looking for. So it's been a bit of a struggle on that end. So I took a week off of not applying, but I'm back to applying to jobs now. And I'm continuing this journey of understanding candles more, making candles more. What is fun about it is that I can make my own candles now. I don't have to buy any candles. I can make it myself. It's like, yeah, it costs for the inventory and stuff, but I can make them for myself now. I can make them for friends and family now. So that's what's enjoyable about it. I get to burn it and enjoy the scents afterwards. I also bought a desk and a table so that now I can spend time outside of my bedroom. And even though it's not outside, it's still another place in my apartment where I can sit at a desk and do my work, whatever work I'm doing on my computer. And I love that I bought a foldable table. So now I have more space to make candles and to do other projects. I don't have to try and find room in here to maneuver and do things. So I'm really, really happy for that. So that was all for this video. I will continue to be working on fixing my struggles and continue to uplift myself and push myself past this latest depression episode, and look for jobs. Hopefully, things will turn around for me and income will start coming in soon because we really, really, really need it. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more about my candle making journey or need some daily inspiration and affirmations, then you can follow me on Instagram at the Silent Torch for inspiration and at Lanesa Marie Candles for my candle making journey. Also, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed what you saw here. So until next time, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and don't forget to show yourself a little more appreciation. Until next time, take care.